something like that. Okay, we can explore some date, or we can say gender anyways cannot be differentiated because that means specific what column can be differentiated. On okay, so now here I tell the instance source. Let's say I wanted to make not null. Not null if I try to do it, then it will be not nullable column. So now if I try to do now, the problem is if I try to execute this, you won't know. It got executed. Now I make it just start from student. Okay. Can you observe one thing? As I declared not null as an integer value, what it has come? It has come 0. Correct? That means not null means it should be starting with 0, but I don't want to make 0. Initially I wanted to default with some other value other than 0. So for that I will do one thing. I will first drop the column. So how to drop the column? It's simple. I'll simply copy this just to show you guys. A simple drop. That's it. You don't need anything else. You copy the column. So alter means it will be auto committed. I don't need to do commit explicit because alter belongs to DDL statement. All the DML statements, you can reference insert update and delete should be in equal commit. Apart from that, all DDL statements should be auto committed. Okay, now in this case, I will add one more constant. Let's say default is equal to 40. I wanted to differentiate with default 40, not equals to default 40. So what does that mean? Whenever I will be adding this new column, the column will be added to the table. Default value as it is not here. So default value it was being 0. Instead of that, it will be making a loop. If I execute this, it will happily execute. It will be auto committed. I don't need to worry about that. Simply now if I do this, can you see? Instead of 0, this will be defaulted to 40. So that is what the main purpose of the default is. You can use default to clear any value. For example, you can use the date also. By default, it should come as a back. Whenever a new row will be entered, if there is no value present for a particular column, but I wanted to make sure the column should not be null. Hello, sir. Date column should not be null. Yeah, so what is the progress? You know the deadline by tomorrow, right? Yes. So, any topic that you facing difficulties of completing? I was going through the having topics as well as the experiment questions, so I'm almost done. I was going with the I forgot the question, but the use of that versions. What is that called?
optimistic locking. I was going through that.
Okay, optimistic locking. Okay. Optimistic locking is something, right? What happened? Let's say in your database table, right? You have some primary key constraint. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's say when you are, let's say, you are updating the table based on the primary key, and by the time another operation you are going to perform on the same table, what will happen that time? It will not allow. It will not allow the second operation till the time the first operation is in place. So this is called optimistic lock.
So I was going through that, and I mean, I read that it has something called version, and depending on the version, it will allow or not allow to update the data, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm here just if you have in case any challenges. Otherwise, you can go ahead with the preparation. That's not a problem. Okay.
Repeat again one more side.
Yeah. So it's basically in a simple word. There are other conditional things and all, but it's very simple. Like what is optimistic locking is. Let's say based on your primary key constraint, let's say you are already doing some operation into table. Let's say it can be insert, it can be delete, it can be update, any operation. And again at the same time, you are trying to perform another operation on the same table with primary key constraint, right? So that time, this you are facing some optimistic locking exception and all. And this time, what will happen when you are updating based on the primary key, right? That time, the entire module in the sense that resource will be getting a lock, so that other thread cannot modify anything by the time. So that is optimistic locking.
And you can also tell something about the statelessness and the statefulness.
Okay, stateless like HTTP. It's a stateless protocol, right? Why it is stateless? Because when you fire any API request, right? After that, you cannot backtrack that. There is no historical data capture. That's why it is called stateless. One time you send a request, you are getting response done.
Okay.
You cannot come back.
And can you give me one example of statefulness? How?
Statefulness, if you go with the SOAP protocol, right? We have REST, we have SOAP, right? SOAP, SOAP, Signal Object Access Protocol. So that is stateful protocol. So there you can get all the historical request response things. You can go back.
Oh, so the RESTful API is for statelessness?
Yeah, basically the HTTP. Because just follow HTTP protocol, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, REST and RESTful is different thing.
Yeah, REST and RESTful is different thing. REST basically is architectural pattern, right?
Yeah, representational something. I forgot. Structure.
No, don't forget the thing. REST is representation state transfer.
State transfer.
Okay. And RESTful is like which is following all the properties of REST. That is RESTful. Indirectly it is same, but terminology wise it is different. And also as we have some power issue here in India, I'm not sure what happened. The power is going frequently here and there, so I might be disconnected anytime, but I will come back. Okay.
also discuss about transaction propagation.
Transaction propagation, right? You're talking about Spring side transaction propagation or Hibernate?
So Hibernate. It says explain transaction propagation in Hibernate.
Okay. From the word itself, what you come to know? Exception propagation, you remember?
Yes.
What does that mean?
If we don't want to handle the exception on that method, we can just propagate the exception, and whoever calls it, they have to handle the exception, and that's called using a throws keyword, and that's called exception propagation.
Okay. But in Hibernate, it is a little bit different. Okay, you know. So in Hibernate, the transaction part is clear, right? What is transaction means in Hibernate?
So when we want to modify the data, we have to use
anything is transaction means you can modify data, you can delete data, any CRUD related operation you're performing that will consider as a transaction from Hibernate perspective. Okay. So when I talk about the transaction propagation, so let's say any application if you consider, right? That application involves with multiple number of components or let's say services, right? They are making call to each other, right? Possible?
Yeah.
But what transaction propagation says, like if any component or service they are participating in transaction or they are not participating. Both the cases is possible, right? And if they are participating, then how it behave when some other component is calling. That is transaction propagation. Let's say one service is calling another service, right? But let's say the service is not participating into the transaction operation. Then what should be the behavior? So how it is bypassing the request or calling of the other services. That is propagation, right? So if you see the exception and exception propagation. So when it is happens when a particular class or a method not willing to handle the exception, that time only they are bypassing that, right?
Yes.
The same thing here. Let's say I have multiple services or component in my application, but let's say any application they don't want to participate in any transaction operation when other service is calling. Then how that request of other services they are going to bypass. So that is the transaction propagation.
But when we are using some service class in the transaction, and if we are bypassing any service, then doesn't it affect the operation? Because service is the logic of during the transaction, isn't it?
No, that's why. So what will happen? Let's say, think about, I have service 1, service 2, service 3. Let's say. So service 1 is calling service 2, but now service 2, what service 2 wants? Service 2 said, no, I am not participating in any of your transactions, so I am not responsible to answer your request. What I am doing? I am bypassing this request to, let's say, service 3.
Oh, okay.
The same for exception propagation, right?
Okay.
So here also, in Hibernate, we can manage this.
So we have to use that manually?
Yeah, the transactional annotation is there, right? Transaction.
Oh yeah, transaction, yeah.
So there you can see different propagation example like required, supports, not support.
Is transaction and transactional are same or different?
Not transactional, transaction. propagation.
No,
So you
the
can see
adaptation.
annotation is transactional. Yes, annotation is transactional, but inside the transactional there is a propagation value. Like name is a property, right? Similar way, propagation equal to required, propagation required, or supports, not support, never, mandatory. So those kind of parameter you can pass.
Okay.
And there if it is required, then required means what? Propagation required means it will bypass.
Okay.
I think transactional you have not done much actually. This is just for interview aspect. You need to think, okay?
Okay.
And in real time, you know, like nowadays, this transaction thing is completely managed by Spring, not Hibernate.
Oh.
But Hibernate also having the capability of handling this transaction. But when your application is purely on Hibernate, then you can talk about this transaction. But now just say, imagine, any application can be on purely Hibernate, not possible, right? So that's the reason it is all the transaction related stuff managed by Spring. Because people do prefer using Spring.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Vivek?
Are there any minimum requirement for the Spring Boot application or Spring Boot?
Minimum requirement in the sense which version or dependency you are talking about, right? The minimum is 2.3.8, 2.3.8 version is required for Spring.
2.3.
Yeah, 2.3.8. Or yeah, we can say 2.3 series. Yes.
And also for the embedded server, is it just the Tomcat server for the Spring Boot, or it can be anything? Like what is this?
Spring Boot having embedded Tomcat, right? So we don't need any other server to run the application. But yeah, it is running in your local, right? But definitely, if you try to promote it to any remote server, that time definitely server is one requirement to have. Because from local you cannot access externally, right?
Sir, can you tell about actuators, spring actuators?
Spring actuators, okay. Uh, so you have completed the spring core that interview questions.
So we're doing it. I'm looking like I'm trying to find the answers.
Okay. So basically, what happened, when the Spring application you create, let's say from Spring site or manually when you create the Spring, right? So what happened, like Spring maintains some internal endpoints. There are multiple internal endpoints Spring have to monitor and provide the feedback for application level status. Like what is the health of the application? Application is up and running or not? If it is crashed, what time it is crashed, or let's say how much time it is running. So to get all this information, so these are basically the statistics of the application, not any application feature I'm talking about. Only the application statistics like application monitoring. So all these endpoints comes under Spring actuators endpoints. So when an application is up, so that time you can see the internal actuator endpoint. It is keep on checking. If the application in the health is good, then only it able to run your application. So those endpoints are comes under the Spring actuators.
So even if our application is not running, then also we can access the endpoints, actuator endpoints.
The actuator endpoints only enable when you start application. I said start application, right?
Okay. So
Not running.
does not have
necessary. It is not necessary that application is up and running. The moment you started, okay, immediately the actuator endpoints activated and they will check. Like let's say you have multiple dependencies in your application. Like there might be some actuator endpoint which will check all the dependencies are resolved successfully or not. So if the dependency resolved successfully, then actuator gives that message like the application is healthy, let's say. So then only the container will up and running and Spring application we can start. So that means before running our Spring application, all the actuator endpoints are activated. They are checking the various aspects before running the application. And when the application starts, that time if you hit any actuator endpoint, you are able to get the information.
And so what about the annotations like conditional on class and conditional on property? What do they do?
Sorry, I wish to come again.
There are annotations like @conditional on class and @conditional on property. So what is their purpose? What do they do?
Okay, so you have never used this condition.
I don't think so. Yes.
Okay. So what is the purpose of bin annotation?
So it say that like it creates the bin in the IOC container. If you give it @ bin.
Okay. So conditional is basically is used in older versions. New version it is not required. Okay. So let's say I can tell you have a let's say configuration class, right? So where you put all the configuration annotation. And in the class we are maintaining let's say some of the properties that is configurable in your application, right? So that time you can use this conditional annotations, and this annotation just tells like based on which condition, let's say certain feature or certain properties that your Spring Boot application allows you to set up, okay, um, based on certain, let's say, library. Let's say if I say, okay, if this library is available, or this jar is available, or this class is available, then you need to implement this feature. So that time I need to use this conditional annotation. Let's say
it's like a condition for creating a bean.
Yeah, at least at the moment you are creating the bin, that time with the bin annotation you can use this conditional annotation. Like let's say I only want to create this bin in this condition when this class is available. Let's say I have a dependency. Let's say one class having a dependency of other class, or let's say I am taking one property from other class to create a bin of other class, right? So that time I can add this condition if in the class path or project path I am able to see this particular class, then only create a bin of this class. So those kind of information I can add inside a conditional annotation. Most of the time we are using conditional annotation for any configuration related stuffs. Like for example, I'm giving, let's say I have, do you know log4j? What is the purpose of log4j?
It's for logging.
For logging mechanism, right? Yes. So let's say my application supports both log4j1 and log4j2. Let's say now definitely I need to create the configuration bin for this log4j enablement, right? Now I say if this particular library, XYZ library, I am getting class path, enable log4j1. Otherwise, proceed with log4j2. That means I am checking that on runtime which particular library I am getting. Is it from log4j1 I am getting or log4j2 library I am getting? If I am getting log4j1, I will be enabling the logging based on log4j1 mechanism. If I am getting other library for log4j2, I will be enabling log4j2 configuration for my entire application. So those kind of configuration you can manage using the conditional annotations. Clear?
Yes, sir.
It might not be clear because you have not done anything in practical, right? Whatever I said, I can say theoretical wise, right? But if you try one time with practically, it will be more clear. But yeah, it's right that these questions are basically for interview perspective. It's not for practical. So can you talk about the UOP? It's a very common, I mean, it's a simple question, UOP. Anybody? What is UOP?
I just know flexible form expect oriented programming.
That is the definition. We have a lot about it, so if you can give us a brief, like there are aspect, so many annotation methods. What is aspect oriented programming? Anybody? First, tell me what is the concept of aspect? No, just a second. Let me tell you. Aspect means what? As far as I know, in the past, so if you want to do some thinking in your application, you want to see, wait, hold on. First, tell me, in general English, what is the meaning of aspect? Aspect, aspect means certain purpose. I just say you right. They said these questions are for interview aspect. If you think this thing for interview aspect, practical aspect. That means for some reason, right? For a particular purpose. This is called aspect. Understood? What is the meaning of aspect? And this aspect oriented programming is, one of the major key element of your this Spring. Why? Because the entire application, if you see, this entire application in Spring, they are dividing into multi-modules, right? That means what? Multi-modules means there might be multiple services, right? Understood or not? Let's say for one business logic, you are going to write different services. That is making the application, the monolithic application into multi-module applications. And this aspect-oriented programming, that is basically a concept that breaks the entire program logic into multiple parts.
So is it like microservices?
Not exactly microservices, because microservice is the same concept, you can say. But if you think about our Spring Boot application, see, microservices mean different business components we are developing using Spring Boot, right? That means small services we are developing into Spring Boot application. So let's say Amazon having total, let's say 10 services. So I can say 10 microservices, and all 10 microservices are individual Spring Boot project. Agree or not? All 10 microservices are 10 Spring Boot project. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But now come to more modular level. Now if you consider only one service, so in that Spring Boot also you can see there are multiple controllers, and all the controllers have their respective services. And each and every endpoint have some particular purpose, and their respective service class also having some particular purpose. So this modularization is aspect-oriented programming. Understood or not?
For every purpose, we are making like small part of the program for every specific.
Yes, like let's say again some cross-cutting concern. Let's say how it is modularized. Let's say logging. Logging is a completely separate module, right?
Yes.
We have written a separate class for logging. So that the login entire thing will take care by that particular module. Let's say you want to add some database related configuration. So in the properties file you have added that particular module only we focus with database related connectivity, right? That way we are actually we are cutting out the dependency or the tasks from the entire class into small objects, or you can say small modules. So this is AOP.
So is there a difference between HTTP and sorry? Sorry, let me say that right. के विषय है? HTTP र HTTP2 मा के फरक छ? खै मलाई मलाई किन दुईटा हुन्छ? कि लाइक अपग्रेडेड भर्जन हो कि लाइक छुट्टै हो भनेर.
Anytime line जान सक्छ भन्ने जस्तो कुरो थियो. HTTP र के अरे?
HTTP/2. HTTP र HTTP/2.
HTTPS र HTTP HTTPS र
HTTP र HTTPS भनेको चाहिँ त्यो एउटा चाहिँ नट सिक्योर र सिक्योर्ड हो के अरे. HTTPS भनेको चाहिँ HTTP सिक्योर्ड हो के. HTTP/2 भन्ने रहेछ के यहाँ.
तपाईँ फेरि आउनुहुन्छ नि क्वेसनमा? चिरञ्जीवी नभएको भए जानु हो. मैले सुनिरहेको थिएँ सुन्नु. जाने मान्छे नै नभएपछि सरलाई पनि के जाँड चल्छ ल. जाने त एक ठाउँको त्यहाँ इन्टरभ्यूमा त्यहाँ अहिले सक्सेस भयो. इन्टरभ्यूमा बेजत सरेर कहाँ आउनुहुन्थ्यो? त्यसको अर्थ त्यो होइन नि त. अफर लिएर आउँदैन. त्यो हुँदैन. अफर लिएर बिरालो कहिले बिरा मागेर घाँस दो खायो भनेर सधैँभरि दो मात्रै खाँदैन कि मुसा मागेर खान्छ कि. कहिले कहिले बिरा मागेर थाहा पाउँछ बिराले झुक्रिएर दो खाएर हिँडे हुन्छ. त्यो अर्थ त्यो बारीमा झिरोला फल्याएको थियो मुसाले सबै खाइदिन्छ. के गर्नुपर्छ? त्यो जाँड त टेन्सन लाग्छ. कहिले कहिले बिरालाले घाँस खायो भन्दैमा सधैँभरि घाँस खायो हिँडेर मुसा मारेर जाँदै हो. तपाईँको जामाकै मान्छे हो तपाईँ. हामी मुसा मारेर हिँडेको बिरालो घाँस खानलाई घाँस नै पाएन. Sorry guys, I got disconnected. There was a power cut. Yes, Vishal. Other preparation going on. I'm taking out of things. Out of? It's like not like this. Another. I'm talking to Chiranjeev. Sorry, I didn't get covered. I'm talking to Chiranjeev. I am asking that how is your preparation? Tomorrow you need to give interview, right? I'm not giving interview yet. Why? I'm not selected yet, but I asked him some time till November. But like I said, the story about the interview it seems like very hard. The experience, guys. But you need to study hard. You need to understand all the concepts. Then only you will crack the interview. There's no way without study. So currently, where you are working? I'm working like a retail stores type. I was working with Amazon and retail store, and I quit a job Amazon. I'm working a little bit
part-time, 10, 15 hours a week only, just to survive.
Okay. No, basically I'm trying to understand like from which background you are, like management or accounts.
I'm start mathematics, actually background, actually, the actuary science, risk analysis, actually.
Okay, properties, right?
In the Bachelor of Science, there is the mathematics. In the mathematics, there is actually means like to play with the data, like probability.
Okay. No, that I got it, but I'm talking about like from working side, which domain you was there actually.
Right now?
No, earlier. Right now, I think you are not working. You said right, but earlier, which management side you was there, accounts or how? Which domain you worked?
Actually, like the Amazon, it was not like a not domain side. It's like a customer service type. There's no any technical side. Okay.
Yeah, customer service also is a domain. You know, it's a domain.
But how to relate to the programming, that's the hard part.
No, I'm not asking from the programming actually. I just want to understand.
Yes, like the customer service. That's mainly the customer service in a retail store. If I was working in the before the window, the USPS post office. That is also customer service.
Okay.
Money handling, it's like credit card transaction, just things.
Sir, I was asking like what is the difference between HTTP and HTTP2?
HTTP and HTTP2?
Yes, sir. So there's a question here that says, it says, how can we enable HTTP2 in Spring Boot application? So I just wanted to know what HTTP2 is.
Okay. So basically, HTTP1, you know, like is just a version. Okay. See, there are two things happens. One is two question might come. One is HTTP and HTTP secure. That thing you know already, right? HTTP and HTTPS. Another thing is there, that is HTTP and HTTP2. So 2015 onwards, the HTTP was introduced the latest version, that is called HTTP2. Okay, so basically it's the next generation version of HTTP1. So HTTP 1.1 had some problems actually. So to troubleshoot that problem, they have just upgraded the version. So that is HTTP2.
So it's just a version update, like nothing.
It's just a version update. But it is, if you compare HTTP1 versus HTTP2, HTTP2 is quite faster than HTTP1.
So it solves the problem of latency.
Yes, mostly latency problem, right?
What is latency means? The literal meaning of latency.
Latency means lagging.
Slowness.
Yeah.
Yes. That means what? Let's say you are hitting on a browser, right? With HTTP. But the thing is that if you see that browser, if browser is loading for let's say 4 seconds or 5 seconds, the thing will not be smooth, right? You become frustrated. So what do we want? Okay, if I click a service, immediately I will be getting a response back. So even also there is a delay, you know, when I'm sending and when I'm receiving the response, there is a lag of milliseconds. So earlier that lag was huge. If you think about 2010 and all, that time what was the browser's capability and the latency, that was quite higher. nowadays it is very faster, very, very faster. And one thing they mandate, earlier we able to use the HTTP without SSL, but if you use HTTP2 in your application, so now they have mandatorily they mandate like SSL, like HTTPS is mandate actually, or TLS certificate. That means if you enable HTTP2, you need to make HTTPS. It is mandatory.
So what kind of questions do interview asks for the entry level positions? Like just a core Java?
Which position?
Like if you go on the entry level, what kind of question do they ask?
See, mostly conceptual, like the straightforward question you are not going to expect, like they will ask you like what is exception, how to handle, not like that, but you can expect some conceptual like questions, like let's say I'm trying to fetch some data from database. So in that case, which collection you are preferring, why? Or let's say if I want to do the sorting, then what is the easier way to do that? So this kind of question. So basically they are trying to check like as an experience, so you have worked really or not. Tomorrow you will come to know actually, but
Even for the entry level?
Sorry?
Even for the entry level, they're gonna check like if we have.
Nowadays, like I'm not sure why the industry has been evolved like this. The expectation is too much. Even for a entry level person also, they are asking lots of questions. Means in our time, I remember they are not asking this kind of questions. They are asking some straightforward questions. Nowadays, 2-year people, 1 year. First of all, entry level people they are not allowing for the project. Entry level means I'm considering 3 years experience. And for a 3 years experience, associate also, company like MasterCard, in my company, Visa, then JPMC, Johnson and Johnson, then BYC Mellon. These companies are asking question like too much in depth level, too much. In BNY Mellon, one of my friends just recently got placed. So he's around 10, okay. In 10 level,
Around 10?
sorry?
Around 10? Around
I
10.
didn't get come again. What are you asking?
No, you are talking the round 10. It's round 10. What is round 10?
No, not round 10. I'm saying that he has 10 years experience. Okay?
Oh, sorry, around 10 years.
Okay, he recently got placed in there, and within 3 months they just fired.
What?
Within 3 months fired, and the reason is very the, how I can explain the thing. Like situation is like they're expecting the tenured person to be engaged. Actually, he's from testing side. That's a problem. So that testing guy, they want to involve into the development design, and that person does not have that idea because he's from the technical testing background, right? So he don't know about the development much, and because of that, he not able to this management thing. Like he's not suitable for the position. They fired. So now imagine a testing people, they are expecting the development knowledge. It is very surprising for me because testing is completely different domain, right? I can understand as a developer you can expect much, but testing is completely different domain. Now the industry's expectation is the testing people also do development. So think about the expectation level. And now if you're a developer, then think about the expectation level from your end.
It means the supply is more because the demand and supply, because the supply is more. It means that too much people are coming to market. Java people, that's why they have the selection, they have the choice. That's why they're looking for the good people.
That's why. So there are more people, but position is less. But although this is kind of a impossible thing, right? Being a tester or a quality engineer, if somebody expecting a hardcore development, this is not possible actually. Because this development is very huge, very vast. How it's possible?
So, you mean tester, code tester developer is hard?
Of course, who is a quality engineer guy, for him it is hard, right? To move into development, to know all the things.
Then development is also hard for us.
That's what I'm saying. For developers, it is very hard. Now think about a quality engineer. For him, it will be how much? It will be too much, right? He don't know what is Hibernate. He don't know what is Spring. He don't know what is Angular.
But metric better than us. Because at least they have the idea of project, terminology of project.
See, if you're talking about the functional side, it is correct. They have a domain level expertise. But let's say you are working on a banking domain. Let's say you have a banking expertise. Somebody works on the payment domain. They are having a payment expertise. So they have a limitation, right? Using the domain knowledge, you cannot frequently can't change the company, right? Because there's a payment domains. We have MasterCard, Visa, Pfizer, or some one or two companies. But if you are a techie guy, any domain, any company, it can be service based, it can be product based. There are thousands of options you have, right? So if you think that way, it is not always correct. But yes, domain knowledge is good to have. But it's not like if you have a domain knowledge, you are the king. No. And also, if people know, right, if you spend 10 years in a company, your growth will be very minimum, right? And why the English IT people are keep on changing the companies? Why?
Pay raise and
Of course, the pay is right.
yeah.
The main intention is pay raise only. If somebody say no, I want to learn new thing, that is a secondary point. Yes. Everybody wants to get some extra. That's why they keep on switching.
Yeah, I heard that if you stay in the same company, they will only raise like a very minimum. But if you change with like certain experience, your pay will be like 20,000-30,000 higher than the first one.
Yes, of course, that's true.
But the number of tester is lesser than the number of the developer in the market. No, always the developer are more needed than the tester. No.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so guys, just prepare for tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, I will try.
Yeah, try from your best. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. Fine then. We can stop today. Thank you. Bye.
नयाँ साथीहरू पैसा सबभन्दा ठुलो कुरो हो मलाई नर्स पढ्यो भने काम फालाफाल सर्छ सरले त्यो टेस्टरलाई गाली गर्यो हाम्रो बारेमा केही बोलेन किनभने हामीसँग त पैसा खाएको छ नि हामीभन्दा त टेस्टर राम्रो नि धेरै राम्रो नि धेरै कुरो थाहा हुन्छ नि
होइन यस सरको ठिकै हो किन डेभलपरलाई सबै कुरा थाहा हो होइन सरले भनेको टेस्टर डेभलपर भएको मान्छे के अरे टेस्टर भएको मान्छे डेभलपतिर आयो त्यसपछि काम गर्न सकेन भन्ने कुरा किन डेभलप
सपोर्ट गर्छु सरको कुरामा यो बारेमा सपोर्ट गर्छु टेस्टरलाई डेभलपर त्यो गाह्रो हुन्छ तर सरले त हामीले पनि गर्नु पर्यो नि तिनीहरूले के पढेकै छैन तिनीहरूले गाह्रो हुँदैन
त्यो अब साँच्चै भन्यो भने अलिकति लिमिटेड छ कि टेस्टर चाहिँ झन् ठिक छ किनभने तपाईँको जेसुकै भए पनि अलिकति डेजिग्नेटेड कोर्स छ अलिक चाहिँ स्पेसिफिक छ होइन यहाँ चाहिँ नि भद्रकोट छ कि जति पनि गर्न सक्ने हो नि अब सबै मान्छे
टेस्टर पढ्नु भएको
मैले पढाएको छैन मैले किनभने
पढ्नु नि त्यो एक्सपिरियन्स बाहेक एक्सपिरियन्स पढ्दैन टेस्टरमा बाद बाँकी सबै पढ्नुपर्छ
बालसरी पढ्नुपर्छ जाबा आउँछसरी पढ्नुपर्छ है यसमा
जाबा पढ्नुपर्छ नि जाबा पढ्नुपर्छ
अब यस्तो हो कि
टेस्टमा पढ्नुपर्छ सबै पढ्नुपर्छ के
कुरो के हो भने गुरुजी जस्तो तपाईँ हामी यहाँबाट जाँदाखेरिमा अलि भए पनि इन्टरभ्यूमा फेस गरेर पाइन्छ फ्रेस भएर जाँदाखेरिमा अब सायद हामीले अब यसरी चाहिँ तपाईँको काम गरेको 5 वर्ष काम गरेको के हाकाहाकी लेख्न डराइन्छ रेज्युमेमा अब त्यसरी चाहिँ नि अब यहाँ त डराउन छोडियो होइन त्यसरी चाहिँ इन्टरभ्यूमै बोलाउँदैन कि मैले भनेको धेरै ठाउँमा इभन डेटा सेन्टरमा इन्डियन लेभलको चाहिँ 25-30 डलरको जबको लागि पनि एमाजोन डेटा सेन्टर धेरै ठाउँ भरि बोलायो नि कि किनभने अब माइक्रोसफ्टमा भरि कहाँ भरि के भन्छ भने सर्टिन योर application we find a better person than you keep on continue look भनेर चाहिँ भन्छ होइन लुक जहिले त्यही भन्दै पठाउँदै गर्छ
अर्को कुरा तपाईँले एमाजोनको जब वेबसाइटमा जाने नि
त्यति नगएको होइन
त्यसमा टेस्टर भन्ने छँदै छैन टेस्टर निकाल्दैन डेभलपरले नै टेस्टिङका काम सबै गर्नुपर्छ
एमाजोनमा
एमाजोनमा सबै त्यो टेस्टरले डेभलपरले नै गर्नुपर्छ त्यसको हेर्नु वेबसाइटमा कतै टेस्टर भन्ने
छैन
अहिले के छ भने बजार डाउन छ, त्यसमा पनि जुन लेअफ गरे नि मान्छेहरूले तिनीहरू त बजारमा फेला फाल्छ नि अहिले।
कस्तो भइदियो भने अब अहिले अरू क्षेत्रहरू सुस्ताएको छ, तपाईँको होटेल क्षेत्रहरू यताउता क्षेत्रहरू जब खाने क्षेत्रै छैन कि, सबै मान्छे भनेर सबैमा आएको छन्, आइटीमा आएको छ अहिले तपाईँको सबै चाहिँ सामान्य रेगुलर फिल्डहरू पनि अब अहिले के भन्छ आइटी इन्भेडेड भयो कि, जहाँसुकै आइटी एप्रोचमा गएपछि अब त्यो पनि भएर फेरि जुन फिल्डबाट आउनु सक्छन् मान्छेहरू यसमा केही पनि छैन। अब कलेजहरू उत्तिकै निकालेको छ, यस्ता कन्सल्टेन्टहरू उत्तिकै निकालेको छ, तपाईँ सेल्फ स्टडी गरेर आउने उत्तिकै छ।
अब अनलाइन इन्डियाबाट गर्नेहरू थुप्रो छ, यहाँको कम्पनीहरू इन्डियामा गएर त्यो खोलेको अफिसहरू थुप्रो छ।
मार्केट पनि इन्डियनले खाइदिएको छ। तर फेरि कस्तो छ भने अब इन्डियनहरूको तपाईँको लिङ्क छ कि, तपाईँको हस्बेन्डले प्रोग्रामर छ, वाइफहरू टेस्टर छ, एउटा साथी ऊ छ अर्को छ। मैले त अब डिस्टिलरीमा काम गर्छु कि, मलाई थाहा छ त्यहाँ स्कच यिनीहरू बढी स्कच खान्छ प्रोग्रामरहरूले, खालि स्कच मागेर आउँछन् होइन, रेड लेभल ब्ल्याक लेभल खान्छन्, सोध्यो प्रोग्रामर, यस्तो हेरेर मान्छे उँभो चलाउँछु भने सोध्यो प्रोग्रामर, आमा यस्तो मान्छे प्रोग्रामर भएको छ, म त कसरी नआउने भन्यो, उसले खाइरहेको छ होइन।
जुन छ नि तपाईँको यताको के भन्छ ससको जति छ नि सबै तपाईँको कि त आइटी इन्जिनियर कि त डक्टर छ,
सबै फेरि साउथ इन्डियनहरू हेर्नुहोस्,
गुजरातको यता पन्जाबतिरको सबैको बिजनेस हुन्छ कि, यिनीहरू आइटीतिर हुँदैन त सबै ट्राई गरेर सबैको बिजनेस हुन्छ कि।
बिजनेस तपाईँ एउटा मान्छेको 22,000-23,000 घर छ होला, अनबिलिभेबल, कसरी हुन्छ होला हेर्नुहोस् त, अमेरिकामा 22-23 घर छ भन्छ, त्यसमा भन्दा अरू गाडी चढ्दैन।
गाह्रो छ त्यति सोच्यो भने त
छैन, किनभने अब तपाईँको सबै छ कि। अब तपाईँको सानो भाइ भन्यो, सानो भाइ चाहिँ नि के अरे प्रोग्रामर, आफू प्रोग्रामर, उसको त बाबा प्रोग्रामर, उता सबै सराउन्डिङ त्यस्तो छ। अब जहाँ बसे पनि अब एउटै अर्कालाई हेल्प गर्छ, एकै अर्कालाई हेल्प गर्छ।
इन्डियाबाट जति स्टुडेन्ट आउँछ नि यहाँ पढ्न आइटीमा मेडिसिनमा कोही फर्किँदैन कि, कोही फर्किँदैन।
तपाईँको अफिसमा काम पाइहाल्यो भने पनि सबै चल्यो।
नेपालको पनि त्यति फर्किँदैन, तर धेरैले हेरेछु फर्केर जान्छ, यहाँ सक्यो अनि फर्केर जान्छ, र इन्डियाको प्राय गरेर फर्किँदैन।
नेपालको यो उहाँको फेरि उहाँ ब्याकमा पनि त ब्याक कन्ट्रीमा पनि त म आइटीमै काम गरेर खान सक्ने, त्यसमा आइटीको विकास रकेटै पुऱ्यायो तपाईँको। अब त्यो एउटा क्षेत्रै छ नि तपाईँको, त्यस कारणले उसलाई छ। नेपालमा त्यस्तो छैन नि त, नेपालमा के छ बिचरा, नेपालमा त्यो कुनै सिस्टमै बसेको छैन। त्यो महावीर गुरुले चलाएको त्यो पुरानो थोत्रो गाडी बनाएर चाहिने आइटी हुँदैन कि। ढिलो भयो कि, ढिलो भएको कस्तो भयो भने 4-5 वर्ष अगाडिदेखि नै त्यो कोरोनाको समयमा साह्रै बल गर्न पऱ्यो क्या, त्यतिखेर बोलिन्छ नि बजी जस्तो लाग्यो। फेरि अब यो ज्वरो चलिसकेको थिएन, ज्वरोहरू चलिसकेको थिएन त्यतिखेर पनि, कति वर्ष भयो चलेको यो ज्वरोमा, ज्वरोहरू चलेको चाहिँ यो ज्वरो चाहिँ यो यस्ता यस्ता क्वेसन चाहिँ चलिरहेको थियो पहिलादेखि।
ज्वरोमा सायद पहिला थिएन, पहिला अब गोरी जोशीको थियो, गोरी जोशीले पनि त त्यो के भन्छ यो डाटाबेसमा मात्रै गर्थ्यो सिक्कै।
पहिला यस्तो बढेको थियो कि यो ज्वरोहरू के आइटीहरू भन्दा बढी पढाउँथ्यो कि, जहाँ पनि के भन्छ बिजनेस एनालिस्ट बढीहरू हुन्थ्यो होइन। अक्सर धेरैले पनि जग्गातिरै लागेको छ कि मान्छेहरू। बिए भनेर बिए भन्थ्यो कि अटोमेसन कि बिए होइन, अटोमेसन बिए, अटोमेसन म्यानुअल अटोमेसनहरू पढाउँथ्यो। अचल म्यानुअल कामै छैन, बिए भन्छ कि बिजनेस एनालिस्ट। अब के छ हरेस खाने होइन गर्ने हो कुकुर पनि खाँदैन
हेरौँ न विचारमा हेरौँ के हुन्छ कहाँसम्म पारिन्छ
तर मैले समस्या पढ्न अल्छी लाग्न लाग्यो
एज भयो एज घट्यो हाम्रो मेरो
त्यस्तै भयो त्यस भर्खरका मान्छेलाई पनि त ग्रुप खाएका छैन नि त्यही हेर्नु
20-25मा आएको भयो 20-25को एजमा आएको भयो हामीले धेरै गर्थ्यो
20-25मा 20-25 भएको भए तपाईँको तपाईँको के अरे कामसँग पनि छोराहरू तपाईँ सबै यस्तो हुँदैन थियो तपाईँ यस्तो टेन्सन पनि हुँदैन थियो नि यदि फेरि तपाईँ यदि गरिन्थ्यो 20-25 वर्ष भयो म त हुँदैन थियो
दाइ म आफै यहाँ टेक्ससमा छु छोराहरू केन्टकीमा छ परिवार केन्टकीमा छु खोइ के हो के
अब यस्तो के तर तपाईँलाई फेरि एउटा कुरा के मलाई कन्फर्म छ भने तपाईँ काममा जानुभयो र काममा तपाईँ गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ नि फेरि त्यो एउटा इन्टरभ्यू क्र्याक गर्नमै तपाईँलाई गाह्रो हो कि तपाईँ काममा गएर फर्काउन तपाईँ लाग्दैन कि फेरि यस्तो हो कि कोही मान्छे फेरि इन्टरभ्यू क्र्याक गरेर गएर पनि कामबाट फर्काउँछ नि त
फर्किन्छ त्यसको डर लागिरहेछ
डर त त्यसैको लागिरहेछ कामबाट फर्किन्छ भनेर
फर्काइन्छ कि डर जतिले जे भने पनि मलाई त त्यो डरले सताइरहेछ
अब इन्टरभ्यू पास गरेर कसरी भन्ने भइरहेको छ अब यो लिप्सिङ भएन भने त समस्या छ लिप्सिङ पत्ता लगाउने भयो कतिवटा इन्टरभ्यू दिने कतिवटा इन्टरभ्यू दिने चान्सहरू पाइरहन्छ नि त 25-30 इन्टरभ्यू दिनेसम्म चान्सहरू पाइरहन्छ त यहाँ खुसी
इन्टरभ्यूको त डर लागेको छैन इन्टरभ्यू त अब कुनै दिन चान्स पऱ्यो भने अब 100 दिन चोरको त 1 दिन साधुको पनि हुन्छ नि
मतलब
गुड नाइट है
पुरै समस्या बन्द गरेर आशिष गुरुङलाई
Record.
Sakinleş